Hello everybody and welcome to this first live streaming I'm doing at the same time at YouTube and LinkedIn. Some of you know me already from my YouTube channel in Spanish, Aprende a Exportar con Carlos Enrile. Normally I do my videos and live streamings in Spanish. But this time it's going to be in English because we're going to talk about the Chinese market and how to access the Chinese market with the help of the European Union. And Laura, who is here with me, and myself, we decided that if you intend to go to China, at least you should know English. So that's why this streaming is going to be in English. Laura, she's in Brussels. She works at the European Union Small Middle Enterprise Centre. Hello, Laura, how are you?
Hello, good morning to everybody. Very good. Thank you very much, Carlos. How are you?
And Laura, she's going to explain us about an institution from the European Union that is going to help you to export to China. So here are my questions, and let me start with the first one. Laura, obviously, why the Chinese market may be attractive for the European small, medium-sized company?
Well, that could be, Carlos, the $1 million question. Why is China interesting for anybody, but especially for SMEs? I think the rise of China is the economic story of the 21st century. And it looks like it will continue to be in the States. Any company that is truly considering the opportunity or the possibility of doing business internationally at some point considers China as a selling point. Then China, obviously, for multinationals, most of the multinationals in Europe, is a very familiar landscape because they already have factories in there. They have sourced materials or parts from China. They have set up legal entities, either representative offices or wholly foreign-owned entities. Or they provide services to both Chinese companies and individuals. So they are familiar, they are known, and business is going well. But the picture can be different for European SMEs. For them, China is still a market where there are opportunities, they are aware of it. But in most cases, sometimes those opportunities are not easy to seize because China could be an unfamiliar market in terms of regulation. It's not always fully transparent, and there is a vast competition. But still, we think that even though it's not the easiest market to access, the sheer size and the opportunities that appear are due to the consumption are quite interesting for any company that really is taking international expansion seriously. Now, I will say that there are three reasons. Again, is first, a strong economy, a consumer power, and then obviously that still Chinese European products are very well appreciated between Chinese consumers.
Now, the next question, obviously, is the following. How can I test if my company is ready for the Chinese market?
Well, at the EU SME Centre, we propose companies to participate on a self-diagnosis tool. This is actually an online program that helps SMEs to gauge their readiness towards the market. It includes one general quiz and 4 specialized ones, one on business environment, product regulation, finance, and taxation. And the last one is HR. And the system has a learning process because along the way you already can see if actually your responses are correct or not, and at the end there is a final recommendation where the system tells you how far you are from ideal and giving you suggestions on additional readings and learnings, and sometimes even recommendation on reaching to other European funded projects targeting China, such as the China IPSME Help Desk. So I will give you an example of one of the questions that might appear and how actually people can learn from them along the way. So one question would be, which is the following statements better describe your status in China? And the first statement says, well, I have been contacted by a Chinese importer, and I have sent him some samples as a test. And somebody might say, well, he's lucky. He has been contacted by Chinese distributors. He doesn't have to do the homework. It's already done. And you might think that is a good answer. But then the second statement goes, well, I have contacted 3 China partners to cover different areas in China, north, south, and west. I have signed a contract with them, and now we are sending the first container. And then you think, well, this is better because different geographic coverage. Obviously, China is vast, it's huge. And then they have signed a contract. There is a legal agreement in place to be enforced. You say, well, perhaps the second is better. But then there's a third one, which says, well, I have contacted 3 China partners. I am running a legal and financial due diligence. And once this is coming clear that all of them are legit and, let's say, economically fit, well, we will sign a contract with them and start operations. And then you say, well, yes, due diligence might be interesting if you want to make sure that the partners that you are going to work with in China are suitable and they are not going to cheat on you, right? But there is a fourth one. And the fourth one says, well, I have registered my IP. I am running a legal and financial due diligence on potential distributors, and I have signed a contract with each of them following Chinese law. And even if your company is, let's say, more represented by statement number 1 or 2, you know that there is something you were missing. And as such, this is the learning that you might encounter in the process of responding to the self-diagnosis tool.
Let's say that we just passed the test. What other services do you offer to support the SMEs in the to enter the Chinese market?
Okay, so let's say that you completed the test. You might have been successful or not. It depends. But, well, we're not going to lose the hope. And we have other services, as you said, we can offer to them. All of them are for free, by the way. We have, first of all, the Ask the Expert. This is a service that you can find also on the website in the same blog or service blog as the self-diagnosis tool. And it's about one-to-one consultation to companies. Here, you can ask anything related to business development, market access, HR regulation, corporate law, anything. Our experts usually reply within 2 to 3 working days. And it is interesting because we have been doing this for 11 years already. And at some point, you realize that some questions repeat quite often. So we have developed also an FAQ section where people can actually read the questions that somebody else asked before. And this is very interesting because at some point you might find out that there are other questions you haven't thought about that are quite interesting and could apply to your business. So what we have seen is that the number of questions in the let's say Ask the Expert have been quite stable, but the visits to the FAQ section have actually grown progressively along the years.
I see. Now, the next one is, how can I learn more on the Chinese market?
Well, here we have a couple of ideas that you can find actually on the website. The first one are the trainings. We offer online and offline trainings, again, complementary based on different topics. Some of them are more transversal. We could talk about cross-border e-commerce, digital marketing, food and beverage sector, green tech, anything, you name it, you have it. And actually, now that due to the COVID, we have shifted most of that online. So we hold them on Zoom, on the Zoom platform, and actually we record them. So if somebody wants to join a specific training and it has happened or he cannot join that the specific day, they can visit our YouTube channel and watch the training whenever they want. They are all available there. This is the page.
Yes, the YouTube channel. You just search for EU SME Centre, I suppose.
Exactly. There is a channel where you can see, well, the presentation page and all the, let's say, trainings we have been doing since 2010. Perhaps the old ones are not that interesting, but we are quite active. There is at least one training per week, so quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, Laura, final recommendations. To
Well,
enter the Chinese market as a small, medium-sized company?
well, I have a small presentation, one slide that I shared with you before. I took this from a friend and from a China expert. I thought it was quite interesting. I personally agree with all the points. Everything is possible in China. You just have to think out of the box and be patient. You have to really keep in mind that the Chinese culture is different from us, and the way they do business is different. But at the same time, nothing is easy. So you really have to put your energies on that. Something I learned from living there is that a yes is not always a confirmation on something. So you really have to be able to read between lines and understand if a yes is a yes or a yes is a no, leave me alone. The signing agreements is just the beginning of a negotiation. When we were talking about signing a contract and sending containers and starting a relationship, this is something you have to care and to take care of it. You have to keep constant communication with your distributors. And then these two lines are quite funny, and is that when you are optimistic, think on point. I think it's point two, about rule two, that nothing is easy in China. And when you are pessimistic or discouraged, just think that everything is possible in China.
Then, so people should remember the address, the main address, the European Union China Small Medium Enterprise Centre. The main address is EU SME Centre.org.cn. Okay, well, people may find this website and may do their self-test assignments, and also you may also visit the YouTube channel. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And in case of any question, our contact details are on the website, so they can reach out to us for any specific request or inquiry.
So Laura Velasco, Proyect Officer at the EU China SME Centre, thanks so much for this really interesting conversation with you. And we hope companies will start thinking about going to the Chinese market, especially small, middle-sized enterprises. And they are not alone anymore. They have the help of the European Union. So Laura, thanks so much, and hope to see you next time to talk about a very interesting subject you pointed before, that is IP, intellectual property protection in China. Okay.
Thank you, Carlos, and thank you everybody for being here today. Bye.
Bye.